Yeah.
See.
I want to share it though.
Although remember, you don't want to say anything stupid now. This isn't the time to say the N-word or something. Because it's actually on.
Weren't gonna do that. It wasn't.
Oh, I just was making sure.
Yeah.
I'll give it like a little bit.
Curtis is there. What up, Curtis?
Hey, sweet.
Oh,
long-time friend, new listener.
First time caller, long time, or first time listener, long time caller. Or no, never
Long time literal friend.
That's it, long time.
Long time literal friend and one.
All right, I guess that's good enough, right? 7. All right, you guys are listening to this week's episode of Two Hippies, One Drunk. I am this week's host, Eric Fady. Thanks for checking us out. If you have not liked our Facebook page or subscribed to our YouTube channel, we'd really appreciate if you could do that and stuff like that. And sharing our posts really help go a long way into growing the audience. This show is a little different than most podcasts in that we have a rotating, rotate hosting roles each week between 3 longtime comic buddies, Tyler, Ryan, or Scott.
Tyler Charles. Yeah, long-time friend. Can't tell the difference.
I literally think of your guys' name as just, honestly, is Scott Tyler. I don't even think of it as a separate name.
No, Tyler Scott. We're the hippies. He's the drunk.
Anyway, so that's a little intro that I just kind of botched a little bit, but whatever.
No, whatever. You know,
this is this week's episode of Two Hippies, One Drunk. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Good. How are you? What are we doing this week?
Yeah.
For one, by the way, I'd like to say off the top also, and thanks to Tyler for bringing some time last night, but we are on not only Spotify and iTunes, but it sounds like basically any place you're going to get a podcast at.
Yep.
Google
iTunes,
Podcasts,
Spotify, like I was saying before,
Stitcher,
iHeartRadio.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for putting some work in last night.
It had to happen. We needed to get on iTunes for sure.
For sure. All right, I guess that's enough of the dilly-dallying. Time to get into the heavy subjects. And so this week we mentioned last week the subject's going to be online etiquette, which is a pretty broad subject, obviously.
Yeah,
so,
and it's great. Like someone had commented, like that you're the one teaching us etiquette.
I know it's absolutely absurd. And which, dude, honestly, actually, when you say that, that's a really good kind of way to get this kind of going. Like when you say that, you're right. It is fucking absurd that I'm sitting here and I'm about to quote unquote preach a little etiquette of online because I'm a fucking an asshole and I'm inappropriate and I'm rude and I'm whatever. But it's like, I don't know how to start with this, but so I'm going to like, honestly, I'm not going to start with, I want to get into, one of the big things I want to get into is unsolicited dick pics, but I'm going to hold off that for a little bit.
I want to ask Eric to spell etiquette.
Oh my God. Yeah. I tried.
Don't you dare look at it.
I tried 3. Well, you know what?
You're already wrong. You're already wrong.
I tried. The sad thing is, I looked up how to spell it 3 times today for posts that I made, and so
you use spell check.
Wrong enough. No,
it's EI, right?
That he couldn't use spell check. If you get a word wrong enough, spell check's not going to save you.
Oh, spell check doesn't do shit for me, dude. I restaurant, I've never learned how to spell restaurant and shit like that. Like I just
word.
Yeah, worked in several, but I can't spell them.
Terrible.
But
I feel like I should do that one.
Can you spell restaurant?
Can you?
I don't want to. You do it. Oh God. RESTRUNT.
Wrong.
You know what's bullshit?
Spelling bee.
Yeah. No, this is bullshit. Our language.
That is the worst thing for me to be doing ever. Don't put me in a spelling bee. That's like me stumbling into a situation and just automatically failing.
Yeah.
Our language is bullshit. Here's the bullshit thing. Like restaurant.
Yeah, we
Why
made
isn't
up
it just
those words,
spelled RESTRUNT or something like that? Like
no, you're both so wrong.
what I said.
It's phonetically, though. I spell phonetically.
Yeah, phonetically, there is clearly something between the T and the R. Phonetically.
Yeah.
It's
R-E-S-T-R-A. Okay, R-E-S-T-R-A. Restaurant. R-E-S-T-R-A-U-N.
Can we move on?
You know it. You know it. Yeah, we don't need to shame. No more shame.
Well, I'm terrible at spelling. Dude, I barely graduated high school, to be honest with you. Like, so sometimes
You and
it's
me
funny
both.
because I will, like,
I didn't
shame.
graduate high school.
I will
I
shame.
got my GED.
Did you really? So you didn't actually graduate? In
No,
a way?
I was homeschooled, so like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got suspended during exams in 10th grade, and they failed. Dude, I was like a straight A student, like straight up. Like I skipped from kindergarten.
I could see
to
that.
grade. I had all my shit in order. I got suspended for calling my teacher a dickhead during exams in 10th grade.
Of course you did.
So it started way back then.
Failed,
Yeah, shit
failed
talking.
everything, and then just dropped out. Don't regret
That's
it,
still-
though, to be honest.
That still seems like you should have passed. If you had all A's, it seems like you should have gotten, like, D's get degrees. Like, you should have, I feel like.
I was slipping in general at that point. I was heading into BC territory in general.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna your exams.
Yeah, like,
I'm going to share one. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, what are we gonna do the topic?
Yeah. I'm going to share one ridiculous story now that it gets brought up, though, because it brought this up. I was, because the thing is, like, I really didn't, I thought I wanted to do radio as a kid, but I didn't know that was the thing you could do.
Yeah.
And so when I was in high school, I just kept telling people I was going to be a truck driver, and I didn't have to go to college. So
Yeah, why is that? Yeah, right? Like fireman, like
it's one of my dream jobs.
The president.
I still would love to be a truck driver. The problem is I don't know how to drive a stick, and I can barely drive a Ford Focus. But
like a trash man, right?
Yeah,
Like
totally.
you're
100% it is a trash.
Like you're getting paid all right.
You're
but,
getting benefits because you are the grimy dirt at the bottom of society.
Yeah.
I just like to travel and go into different truck stops and shit. It wasn't really because anyway. Besides
You're big.
What are they called? You find out about road rats? You found out about fucking like
lot lizard.
lot lizards?
Yeah.
Dude, this is the thing to this day.
Who goes to a truck stop and is like, I want to hang out here?
Me, like to this dude,
No.
to this day.
I'm like, get me out of here as fast as possible.
Immediately.
People are taking showers in a gas station. What is that about?
Dude, to this day.
Exactly what a truck stop.
Yeah.
And getting blowjobs in the parking lot.
Yeah. Or in the showers. Whatever's happening happens. You know?
Well, dude, I don't explain it, but to this day, as a 36-year-old dude, like I always tell people I just like travel hubs. Like I like airports, bus stations, shit like that. I just like them. I don't know what it is.
I dated a truck driver. She was the most insane,
Nice.
drunken train wreck of a human being that I've ever
Hell yeah.
in my life.
Hell yeah.
I like it.
I have a shitty job. I work in a restaurant. I'm just saying that is such a bad thing to aspire to.
Dude, I had 3 things I wanted to do as a kid: be a waiter, work on the radio, and be a truck driver. And I did 2 of them. So
Yeah, you just gotta do when you go on this trip. Just get a job doing truck driving.
Yeah, get your CDL.
Yeah.
Problem is, dude, honest to God, I can't. Dude, when I drove out to Montana this last winter or this last summer, dude, I couldn't do it because I was in just a small SUV and I was white fucking knuckling it down as like 80-year-old men were passing me down a mountain in their like RV, and I'm just sitting here fucking. Okay, just get home. Please just get home. So I don't think I could do it. But, I'm going to fuck my story because I was going to tell a story, but it led into this, and I'll get into the actual point of the episode, I guess.
Good call.
So, you know what? I am going to go right into dick pics. Fuck it. Here's the thing. So with my thought on the internet etiquette, as it were, is like, it's a weird, because like, for example, even the 3 of us, like you had it a little younger than me, maybe middle school.
We didn't
but, like,
grow
you
up
didn't.
with phones. I didn't get a cell phone until I was 18.
Yeah,
But it was like there. You know what I mean? My point is like, MySpace. You probably were on it in middle school, I
I
assume.
remember being 12 or 13 and my parents getting dial-up.
Okay. Oh damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're 30,
Okay, so
we're 32. That we grew up in the 90s.
Yeah. Okay. So my point, my kind of point is like, even you at least kind of had it, like in high school, for example, and it's weird because there is like there's an etiquette that should have been taught at some, like at this point they should probably have a class that tells people social media etiquette, like
practical things.
That's true. Yeah, they don't know. You don't know how to do your taxes. You don't know how to like get a decent. They should do how to move up in your job. Like that would be a cool.
They should
class.
definitely do what you're saying, Eric, but they should teach you how to do your taxes first.
I wasn't trying to. Yeah, I wasn't. You're right. There's a lot of things they should actually teach.
It's such a huge thing. Like honestly. It would make more sense for them to teach that.
It absolutely would not. That would be like
you can use TurboTax.
Well, even
just throw that shit on there. Use TurboTax.
If you can use TurboTax, you can use Facebook.
But it's more like how to interact socially on there. Would be something that like
because it's so much different than in real life. In reality, like it's a lot different. Anyway, so to these dick pics, I know this is out of nowhere, but it's just something that always hits my mind. And I will fully admit that I've taken and sent dick pics or whatever to people. But
you're a real man, you better have.
Yeah.
They have always been asked for. I cannot, like, can either of you fathom being in a situation where you just sent, like, you're just, and sometimes it's, forget even you've been talking to a girl for a week or two. People do it like they get a girl's number at the bar. And then they just like.
My thing is like, with that, women will ask. You'll be in a situation where it's like it's a give and take. It's like you're allowed to. I would never send that initially ever in my whole life. Like I would have to know 100% that girl wanted.
You said you've never sent one?
No, I said I have. I
never unsolicited.
Never like where it's like both of us are mutually sending pictures back and forth and we're on board.
Well, here's my thing is like I'm kind of like I'm not even shy about doing that. So I've sent my dick to like group chats before because it's
really?
They're like,
really?
I was like just like dating a girl and she was like talking about my dick and she's like send it and like I'm like okay fuck it like
right. Oh, I mean, dude,
you gotta prove yourself. Yeah,
but I would never in a million years. No, absolutely not. Like you don't.
I've never understood it. And so like even when you said that, like when you said you don't care, like dude, for example, like when people are like, oh, what if someone sees, dude, if the people I've sent dick pics to decide to tomorrow go in and put them online, unless the only people that have to be worried, and I'm based on what I've heard from these three people, I'm assuming there's no micro penises in the room here, but
I said my dick. All right, people have seen it. We'll do this right now. All three of us showing our dick.
No, but it's like unless you have a very obvious deformity, like I just have a very average, generic white person dick. You know what I mean?
And so it's like pale working class dick.
Right. So it's like.
That's what sets such an image in my head. It looks like a guy sitting on a gurney or something, like with his dick out, just eating his lunch.
Yeah, he goes into work and he has a lunch pail, and so does his dick. He just has a little lunch pail, and
I don't know, not a gurney. That'd be a hell of a thing to be riding on.
No, but I totally get it. You wouldn't care, right? If your dick came out.
I mean, I wouldn't care in the sense of like, dude, it's like there's nothing. Like I said, I don't have a big groat on it. It's big enough. It's not anything special, but it's like it's just. I mean, you could see 1,000 of them on Google if you looked them up.
Yeah, and it's like, well, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, it's like if you're a woman, there's a value to your body that like you're guarding. I feel like. So
for sure.
You wouldn't want nude pictures of you leaked without your consent or whatever. Like, I could give a damn.
And honestly, if your dick pic is getting leaked, no one knows it's you. It's just Like,
I mean, there was those
most
old
people
sites.
are getting their faces in there.
No,
like,
there
they're
was
just
those
getting-
old sites and stuff where people would post like their exes with like their social media.
But isn't that like girls? Is that a?
No, guys. I think guys tend to be worse. Well, but guys post
Guys are
obviously not
posting
dicks, but
girls.
Yeah.
Girls are on there posting.
I would imagine it would have to go both ways to some degree, right?
Maybe
Like,
a little.
yeah,
maybe a little.
90%.
But I feel like if you're posting that, it's because you hate them and they have a small dick. So you get a lot of small dicks and naked chicks.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
well, unless some people I guess would care. I think a lot of guys would have that same. You know, the stuff I'd be most embarrassed about wouldn't be the actual image of the dick. It would probably be like, dude, usually when I'm not someone who puts a lot of time into it. Like some people might actually try to make it look. I'm usually just like fucking sitting on a couch, so it's just like this little gut over my fucking thing, and maybe I hadn't trimmed my pubes enough that day, and so I guess if they picked that one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
You want to flatter.
No, what you do is you
Like
have
good
a
lighting.
couple of solid dick pics that you took at one point. You just send those. That's the
I don't know how I never thought of that.
You're taking a new one every time.
Yes, I take them new every time.
No, I'm not good enough at taking pictures either, man. I have one or two that I'm like, yeah, dude, this will work.
See, I have, some good dick pics. I know how to take a good dick pic.
That's like, I don't know why I never thought about.
good.
I believe that. You have a good eye for photography.
Yeah, base to head, make it look bigger, make it look great. Get like
So getting back into like sentence.
You're like regular size cocaine.
This little mini coke.
Yeah,
Smooth.
So getting back into like sending these.
record. Never done that.
So just getting back into like sending these though.
With my dick in my hand.
Get like a banana runt, like one of those little candy shapes.
Like one of the small Twix or like
Yeah.
small what is that? Snickers is a good one.
Like a fun size Snickers.
Yeah, fun size.
I did.
No, so none of that if they didn't want it.
Sorry, I need a second. That's because I was trying to reel it back in a few times, and you guys just kept talking, and then you bring it back home with, but none of that if they didn't want it.
Okay, so here, can we talk about, like, I'm not going to use names at all, because, like, this person still is kind of in the comedy scene.
Okay.
I know a guy, and I've actually known a couple of people who did this, so it's not exclusive to one person, but have you ever known the guy who sends a dick pic to a ton of people, unsolicited, and then it got, like, quote-unquote hacked? Like the next day, like makes a post about, like, oh man, I got hacked, so sorry about anything that anybody said.
That a hacker would send your dick out.
Right.
Like, why did they think about that?
Yeah, what is the story? How did the hacker get a picture of your dick?
Yeah.
Like,
And why is that the thing they send out?
Right.
They're lying, obviously, dude. That is. I mean, I know you guys were saying that. I know you have to.
Yeah.
That is. So just to back, like, not to be weird about it, but to get back like more like the thought process, and none of us have all said, and the thing is, openly we all said we've sent these, so we're not like some Puritans but it's like, no. I just, dude, I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe just like I get anxiety if I just met a girl and I'm texting her for the first time, like just even what I'm saying in my sentences, I'm like, oh my God, am I misspelling? I'm checking fucking Google, I'm this and that, and I can't even fathom. And I know what they usually say is like, those guys are just obviously people who just, they don't care. They'll send 100 of them if one works or whatever.
I think a lot more guys are doing that than you think.
Yeah.
I think that because so many girls I will talk to online will be like, oh my God, you didn't, like, you're so nice, and you just are having a conversation with me. And I'm like, I thought that this is kind of how it's supposed to
go. No, okay, here. Okay, this is what I think. Like, we're all just guessing here, but I think that there are a lot of guys that do, like, how would I even describe it? Like a dollar store dom sort of thing, where they're like, they try to be aggressive sexually very early, and it's clumsy and it's weird and like that sort of a thing. I feel like there's a lot of dudes who do that. I feel like there is a small minority of guys who send out immediately to hundreds of people. Like,
that's probably fair.
So a lot of them are talking about the same guy. So
that's what I think. I think a lot of them saw the same dick.
Yeah,
that's probably that's
everybody.
Like 500 Facebook flashers
has
around
that
the
experience because that crazy dude.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you'll get that, when girls will be like, "Oh wow, you're actually being chill in a conversation and stuff like that." That's more so like guys just being clumsily aggressive sexually.
But even that is like, what are you doing? Why is that?
I still don't get it, but
saying do. I've heard things girls have said, dudes have said on the internet are some of the most. I heard a girl say that a guy said, "Can I suck on your tampon?" Like, first message.
Okay, got a question for you. You think those guys are fucking more than us, or you think they're fucking?
They're fucking less quality, but more.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Also, I think the thing is with those people, and I'm not.
Okay, I want to suck your dick.
Yeah, you're right.
Not a great quality lady.
They're putting in the effort. They're just doing a scatter shot.
Unless you're like extremely attractive, then you might be getting all the sex.
I always think like when you think about like those guys though, like you're talking about the one that sends a bunch out and whether he has sex more than us or whether this or that, and I always think too like, dude, look at man, sex is great. We all enjoy it. I'm assuming, but. Dude, I got like stuff to do,
man.
You know what I mean?
Pro sex podcast. We are a pro sex podcast.
But it's like, dude, I've got stuff to do in my day. Like, I was talking to someone recently who's like, you know, there'll be guys that like they're in all of these relationships and they have like a whole settle, you know, different phone because they're married or some shit, and it's like all this shit. And it's like. Dude, I get it. You know, I like, you know, getting my dick stroked, you know, and shit. But like, I also like fucking going on hikes and doing stuff. Like, I can't imagine that sex being that massive to you. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, definitely. Especially the guys like, I've gone through periods like, man, you get out of like a long-term relationship or something like that. And you're just like, man, well, like, I guess I'm free now. I'm just going to lean into like, trying to like hit on a bunch of girls and stuff like that. Like I get that, but like to do
here's like
lifestyle seems exhausting. Like especially if you got the extra phones, you're trying to juggle like several people and stuff like that. That sounds like actual hell.
Right.
Yeah, because there's so many lies you're just trying to fucking string together.
Yeah.
Well, and like here's like the thing, Scott, like when you were talking about like how like you get like if you got out of a relationship and you hit on more girls for a period, like I even get that, dude. Like I've always said like, dude, I have absolutely been the idiot sending, you know, 2 a.m. I get home from the bar and I kind of just see who's on. And if there's kind of a girl I liked or have liked and we've talked a little bit, like I've sent messages saying, hey, you up or something, you know, whatever. Yeah. But like it's never ever gone to the point of like, unless I thought it was wanted of like, how about, you know what, man, I'd like to, even forget the dick pic, even just saying like, man, I wouldn't mind you sucking my dick right now or something. Like I just, unless I thought it was going that way, I have never, even in my drunkest states, like I still like, I mean, I'll say, you know, yo, what you up? You know what I mean? But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You got to know who you're sending that text to. It can't just be some random person.
And I feel like that's the thing, like when you were talking about earlier that a lot of women will complain about is that sort of a thing. Like, it just tone being off, not like I talked to you for 5 minutes and now you're trying to make this about sex, like out of nowhere and like that kind of a thing.
Yeah, more or less. That is exactly.
As you were saying that, you know, so you know what, that leads me into another kind of idea that I had when it comes to this, and that's like, and all three of us are kind of funny, you know, we're humorous guys, we've done comedy and stuff like that, and so we're all familiar with using humor to attract girls. It's a very it's for me, it's my biggest thing because I'm not good looking and I have a lot of other bad qualities, you know, and whatnot. But like, and so like, you know, what's funny when you talk about etiquette? Do you guys, I don't know how much you guys cringe at this, but like when I see like girls post, you know, some picture and then you get these 10 dudes, you're gorgeous, or just,
God, yeah.
You want to speak on that a little bit? Because I fucking have very strong opinion.
Man, my thing is like most of the time too, like sometimes that can work on like a young girl who's not used to it or something like that. But I think a lot of women don't like respect that. Like it's just
Don't respect
it's
what?
simp behavior.
I miss.
Like when some girl posts a picture, like I'll heart react, like I'll do that all the fucking time.
Oh,
but like being like, oh yeah, like leaving comments and stuff like that or whatever. Like it's low grade simp behavior. It's like you can't
Well, like here's an example for me. Like I don't mind, like I'll leave comments, but I always think if I can't leave, one, if I don't know the person generally enough to be like, oh damn, that's a cool place for you, whatever. Or I can't make something really clever that's different than other guys would say.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Then I don't do it. This idea of just going, oh my God, you are fucking gorgeous. And it's like, dude, there's 10 other guys on here. What do you think she's gonna go through these and just you know, this guy right here, I'm gonna fuck him tonight. Like, you know what I mean?
And a lot of the time, those comments don't even get likes on them.
No,
I know
because even the person posting is like, like if I give this person encouragement, they might DM me.
100%.
Oh God, yes, dude.
100% the thought process.
Yeah.
Oh, let me ask you guys: have either of you guys ever gotten an unsolicited dick pic?
A dick pic?
I have 100%.
How are you gotten an unsolicited dick pic?
Weirdos online. I don't know.
You a dick pic?
Yes, absolutely.
I have never experienced that in my whole life.
Both times it was a guy that was known for doing that. Where like
was he trying to fuck you? Do you think they were trying to like have sex with you?
Or did he make a mistake and just was going randomly through numbers?
I don't think it was a mistake. But what I think
did they message you with it or just a dick pic?
One person messaged me like just a short conversation. I was like, oh, there's somebody who likes my posts sometimes. Like, I'll indulge you. I'm like talking to them, joking to them for a minute, and then just boom, dick. And then the second one was just a dick. I think it's possible. I think there's a certain like parking lot flasher mentality.
Right.
For these guys, I feel like that might be it. But yes, I have twice myself received it unsolicited.
That's wow.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy, dude.
Ever.
That's
like,
fucking crazy.
You're posting.
I've gotten
like,
unsolicited nudes from women before too, to be honest.
You son of a bitch.
I've had if you want to go extreme etiquette, like internet etiquette, I had a woman. I literally 2 sentences into a conversation on a dating site say that they were falling in love with me, and I was like, oh nope, bye.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
Bye.
What was her name? Just for my research.
Yeah, for later.
I just want to follow up for the podcast later.
Maybe she'll love me.
That's crazy, dude. You know what's funny when you say that? I must be, and again, dude, I know it. I'm not even stupid, so I don't feel bad about saying this, but I must be terrible at messaging people because I've done, dating sites in the past, and it's like, dude, I remember one time I famously, I talked about this when I was an intern on this radio show in Detroit. Even I was famously on Match, and I went like a year, and I was paying, and I didn't get one message back, and I was sending messages out all the time.
A year? What? I feel like what were you saying?
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Dude,
yeah. Because you're not. There's no way. Yeah. A year?
I can't show. I mean, maybe it was like 6 months. I think it was like a year. I mean, maybe it was like 6 months or something. I don't remember exactly, but it was a long time.
My thing is too.
You should get a message within the first day.
Yeah, and the way these dating apps work is it's like, at least in my experience, like the conversations kind of tend to be short and generic, and then it's just like, well, you want to hang out? Like, let's, there's this bar.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, I think that some of it hurt me. I didn't get on those things until I was. I was kind of. In my mid-20s, and I think my problem was also always I knew I was living at home, and I knew I was in my mid-20s, so it was kind of hard, and I had no money, So
Yeah.
so
That'll do that.
So I think that I had no. I always thought of I used to talk about when we had a friend, we'd go out and get to the bar to get numbers, and it'd be like I always thought in the end though, really I don't know where it was gonna go because I couldn't take them home and I had zero money. So I was like, what am I gonna do with these numbers?
Hey, you want to go fuck in my car?
Yeah, you go for a
in my
long
friend's
walk
cars before we drive home for the night.
Good Lord.
So
Hey,
yeah,
okay, this is kind of a fun story that with dating apps. I did. This is like probably kind of ridiculous and shameful. I did.
awesome.
Right after I separated from my wife at the time, and like we were in the process of a divorce, I was like, yeah, let me go on these like dating apps, like whatever. Let me check it out. I immediately like start talking to this girl. She seems a little bit off, but I'm like, whatever. And she's like, you want a video chat? And I'm like, okay. And she's like, okay, so I like to do this thing where like you tell me where to put what are those like clips, like those wooden clips?
Yeah.
I don't know the word right now. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like
Laundry something.
Yeah, putting those like I like to have you tell me where to put those on my body, and then I will put them on my body. And I'm like, right, and I'm like, whatever, man. I'm down for new experiences. Like, okay, try this. And like, I did it for a little bit. It was kind of weird. Wasn't that great. But like, it was whatever. And then we made plans to meet up the next day.
When you did do it, you followed up in real life and did it?
I did. Well, no, we followed.
You know what's weird is like
it was like I work tomorrow. I live with my parents, and they're super religious. So, and I was with my parents at the time, so it's kind of the situation you were saying.
Right, right.
Come meet me on my break at work, and I fingered her in my car.
This show is really opening me. Like, I'm so glad I get to hear these stories about Scott now all the time that I didn't know before. Where were you? Wait a minute. Now I got to know. Where were you working?
People.
You don't have to say. You don't have.
She was working at Family Fair, and she wasn't
okay.
She didn't even end up being able to take a break when I actually went there. She was out there bringing carts inside, and she's like, "Well, let's just like go hang out in your car for like."
Okay. I do have a pretty good dating story too.
Wait, one second.
About that. What?
1 second. How old were you when this happened? Ish.
This is not that long ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that long.
And so, what did you think you were going to do when you drove that day? Drove to hang out that day?
Like, I thought we might fool around in my car. That's basically
on her break.
Yeah. I mean, because I knew this girl literally just got on video chat with me and is putting wooden clips on her nipples. So
right.
Something's gonna happen.
So then my other question would be is like, do you remember if you had to get there? Because she didn't end up being able to take a break. So do you remember if you got there and she was kind of like, just wait around and I'll come up with an excuse, or did you sit there for an hour?
No, I waited around. I mean, it was like 5-10 minutes, but I got there, like met her. She's like, I'll be back out in a couple of minutes. I'm trying to get on my break. They're not letting me right now. I sat out in the parking lot for 5 or 10 minutes. Like, she came back out. She was like, yeah, like, just walk with me. I got to bring these carts in. And we walked and like talked for a minute.
What a lovely date.
What a first date.
What a great first date. Right.
Okay, wait. There's a story.
Imagine if you ended up marrying that girl. Like that would be your story.
Oh my God. We
hung out at her job.
How I Met Your Mother. That'd be a great.
I fingered her in the Family Fair parking lot.
We really got to know each other. Okay. So I had this terrible experience with dating. This is also like internet. Don't lie to people. Don't catfish people. Don't say shit.
Right.
So this woman like wanted to hang out with me. We had never met before, and I was like, okay, let's go get a coffee or something. Let's go like downtown.
Something normal.
Yeah, something normal. And she was like, no, I'll just come over. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, I'm worried for you, and I might be the murderer. So like I'm trying to put you in this situation. And I literally like 3 or 4 messages.
Like, aren't you
sure?
concerned for your safety?
Yeah. Are you
Well, she's not if she's about to hit you over the head with a sack of doorknobs or whatever.
No. So she's like consistently insisting on coming to my place, and I'm like, okay.
See, that would be a big red flag to me.
I remember this. Yeah.
Like, and I was like, me and my roommate were joking about like, oh man, what if she comes out? Like, what are the worst scenarios? Like, what if she had a kid? What if she murders you? Like, what if blah 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 blah? Because
Her having a kid would not be the worst case scenario.
No, she said she didn't have a kid. She specifically was like, I don't have any kids, whatever. And I was like, if she brought a kid to a first date, it'd be a weird thing.
Yeah.
And then, so she gets to the house, smokes a full cigarette, then goes around on the other side of her car, gets her kid out. And then proceeds to come up to my room, has me pay for dinner, has me like hang out with her kid during the night, and then tries to have sex with me while he's there.
Oh my God.
So it's not even like he's somewhere else.
Was he asleep?
No, he was just playing around. She was like trying to grab at me.
What was she like? We're just gonna throw the covers
Essentially,
over
yes, more or less, and was like essentially saying that to me. And I was like, at this point, it was like 1 in the morning.
God.
And I was like, no.
What in the morning?
Well, it was 1 in the morning.
What in the morning?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What's her kid do? Oh, well, I mean, obviously he's pretty,
I mean, he's got a terrible mother. Like, might I murder you? But you're bringing your child to someone you've never met in your entire
and the thing is, you know what? Actually, I hate to say this, is more sad about this is that she didn't try to rob you or something. Like because like she's doing this for real. This was her thought.
Like thought that we were gonna start dating after this. Like that was her thought process.
Like if she had robbed you, I would be like, okay, I know she had a.
This is what's okay.
This is the deal.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, and I made her leave. We didn't fool around. We didn't do anything. I told her to leave.
You're a stronger man than me.
I still would have probably done it, but
I might have just been like, well, can your kid go in another room? I mean, I did pay for dinner. I've been hanging out with this kid all night. Like, let's just see what happens.
No.
Was she good looking?
Had me just like stiff as a board. Just please, just why did this happen to me? Go away.
Was she kind of good looking? I mean,
she was cute, but it doesn't matter.
Oh Jesus, I was Scott. Like I would have. I mean, I'm not saying I would have been happy about it, but I'm proud of it.
Sex is a thing to me that like I won't do that if I don't feel comfortable, and if like I
don't feel comfortable in that brat's in the other room playing on my fucking phone.
Right.
It's just that she didn't. There was too many things.
That'd be my thing. I'd be like, man, it's 1 o'clock.
Here's my iPhone. I've got fucking Angry Birds.
I
have fun.
That, but the kid was awake in my room.
Yeah.
I couldn't. There was nothing I could do.
I know. Take him to the other room.
No, at 1 in the morning, and they're all sleeping.
Yeah, that's fair.
Put fucking child YouTube on your phone and put him in the other room.
What other room? My apartment was essentially 3 apartments, and
child
my room
YouTube.
was
Let's be real. This kid's watching rated R shit on Netflix.
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, I'm just trying to be.
She has no reason to not. She doesn't care about that kid.
No.
But she brought.
Dude, I have a. This isn't even a dating story, but that reminds me. So me and my buddy just were talking about this. One time I went up to.
The kid was like 3, Curtis.
Okay.
By the way.
This reminds me. So one time I went up to Boyne Mountain or whatever, but we went in the summer and it was literally dead. We're in this like kind of ski resort, golf resort place or whatever. Dead. It's me, my buddy, this mom and her kid in one of the bars. There's about 4 bars kind of in the resort, right? At one point, the mom leaves her kid in the bar, goes away for like an hour. And we don't, really know why. I mean, obviously we can very much speculate on why, but we don't. And she leaves the kid in the bar. And then she comes back and they're like kicking around. She's like, this is bullshit. I didn't do nothing wrong. This kid just got left in the bar. Anyway, we still go try to hit on her.
Yeah. You guys like, this is our responsibility now?
Oh, no, like she didn't drop it off at us by any means. I'm just saying like the kid was there.
Like, somebody's got to watch this kid?
She didn't say anything to anybody. She just got up and left.
So you didn't care. You were just like, I guess this kid's running around the bar.
I mean, I just remember me and my buddy just going like, now it's been 10 minutes. Now it's been 20. And so then that didn't stop us in the end. Eventually she does, I guess, brings a kid because she gets kicked out of that bar, right? So she brings him back to wherever her room was. And then me and my buddy go to one of the other bars, and she winds up there, and we still are hitting on her and stuff. And all she kept saying to us is like, you guys got some bad intentions or whatever. I'm just like, I'm like, look at, you just left your kid in a fucking.
I just wanted to fuck her.
She's got bad intentions.
Yeah.
Leaving her kid in the bar.
Yeah, that's some bad intentions.
And the only reason for more bringing that up is like all three of like Scott's was actually the best story of those because there wasn't anything. I mean, technically. Bad about it. I mean, other than I guess she owes that family fare for her 15 minutes.
It's like the start of a really sad story, like sad love story.
Right.
But just like humans, like
there was nothing. Nobody got hurt. There was nothing like technically wrong about it.
No,
I've just been very. I've been very fascinated recently with like it's so weird to me that humans like we're this. We pretend like we're a superior animal, and some of us are, I suppose. But look at those two stories. Like, look at Scott's or Tyler's story. Like, that is a fucking person with a kid, and she's just going to some dude's house, doesn't tell him on a date site, wants to bang him with the kid in there, and it's like that kid. Oh my lord, do I feel bad for that kid? Because like kid has no chance whatsoever in life to be normal.
That's the reason I said no. That was the biggest reason. I was like, I can't on my end do this to that kid. I don't know him, but he's a child.
I mean, he won't remember you, but you'll just be another.
Yeah, like the man mommy hung out with. I remember that.
Believe she didn't try to rob you. What was the point? Wow. Well, she was trying to.
Yeah, that would have been a more respectable thing.
Yeah,
way more respectable.
You got it.
Like I'm robbing you.
Yep.
And then honestly, I probably would have just been like, "Yeah, I get it. Here's $20. Can you please go now?"
Yeah,
enough for dinner. I guess we could get back into the. I wanted to get into this aspect too, and I don't know if we'll have time. Man, already time flies when you're having fun. Yeah. But I want to get to this one before trolling because I'm more interested in it, and I'm more interested in hearing you guys actually talk about it. And it's this thought of like I've had with the internet that is it literally the dick pics, all the stuff in the internet doesn't blow my mind as much as, I mean, for lack of I don't think it's already out to say boomer, but like these 40-year-old people that grew up without the internet getting in vicious fights on Facebook. And I'm like, and these are the same people who talk about snowflakes and talk about people like getting easily offended or why, who are these kids? The old man that says, why are these kids spending all their time on their iPhone? And yet he sits there in a fucking like neighborhood group chat bitching because someone doesn't take their trash cans in fast enough.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like part of that, to be honest, is I feel like the kids nowadays are even more so this way, and I kind of feel like, like you were saying before, we're sort of in that in-between stage between that 40-year-old guy and like a kid who's 20 years old and getting on the internet. They've been on the internet their whole life. And like, I feel like there's a certain absurdity to the internet that you have to understand. So you have to understand, like, this is a thing I'm doing, but it's ridiculous that I'm doing it, and I am a ridiculous person, and everybody out here is ridiculous. And it's all performance, and it's all fake. I feel like 40-year-old people never got that memo. Like, they don't.
And also,
like they think this is real.
They're fighting with a guy like the same way you would fight with somebody in person if you got really angry at them.
Yeah, I feel like this is the first time they've been holding all that shit in for 40 years, and this is an outlet. And instead
that's what I was wondering, like,
using it as a form to talk, it's like they're bursting at the seams.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that could definitely be part of it.
Just like, finally, I get to say something.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We're just real good. That's a good point, Tyler. Like that's what I've always thought. I'm like, dude, you especially. I mean, if you're 50 years old, and I'm not saying that I'm young. This isn't me going like these old people, because dude, I'm fucking 37 in a month, so I get it. I'm getting up there too. But dude, if you're 50 years old, you went a shitload of your life without social media, and now you're sitting here bitching because the fucking, like I said, I mean, the one I made about the trash cans isn't a joke, dude. If you ever join like a community Facebook page,
no, absolutely. The Colorado Springs one, it's full of the worst people.
What are you doing with your life? Did you give a fuck? Just whatever.
Yeah, okay, but this is what I'm saying though, is I think that distinction, they don't really understand they're on the internet. They think they're doing real life.
Okay.
Like, I've had people for years that I fight with for sport online.
Yeah.
Like, and I know it's for sport. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna mess with them.
But they don't.
Blah, blah. No, they don't too. They don't too a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying, if you're fighting with those people, they don't know. They're fighting you.
Well, and
they're actual fighting you in person.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
not,
they're like, this is the same as if somebody said some disrespectful shit to my face in front of me.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing, Scott.
Way to interact.
Oh, go ahead, Tyler.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
I was just going to say the other thing, Scott, about you, and maybe you're right in that sense that you're looking at it like you're looking at it different than them. Like you said, you're looking at it as it's the internet. But the other thing is, honestly, you famously, like, you know, would like I was on this podcast, the Detroit Cast, and you came down and did some comedy, and you famously would get in vicious online. I wouldn't even call them fights, and I call them discussions, I suppose, but back and forth. And the thing is, though, you don't really name call or anything. Like, honestly, like I wouldn't consider you a troll.
No, if you get emotionally invested in a fight online, you've already lost.
For sure. For sure. That's a guaranteed. And it does happen to some of us. I mean, I try very hard not to, but I've had a few times where some reason I just couldn't hold back for some reason. I just made some comment, and it's like, as you're typing it, you know it's dumb because you're not winning anything. You're just kind of saying something, and then it goes downhill, obviously, usually. And every time it's like you keep digging, and you keep hoping that, like, well, this time I'm gonna say this, and that's gonna end it. Of course, it doesn't.
That used to be me in my young 20s. I'd be like, man, I just gotta find the perfect argument, and then they're gonna be like, holy fuck, man, you were right.
Oh, this guy's fucking got it. This guy's right.
No. Well, like, that obviously never happens. And I've gotten to the point, like, even when you're talking about those people from the Detroit Cast that I used to fight with online and stuff, I kept them on my friends list until they unfriended or blocked me.
Right. Like, which is bullshit on their end.
I'd be like, oh, shit, yeah. Like, I get excited when I saw, oh, this person commented. I'd be like, all right, let's go. Like,
I always had that opinion. I mean, dude, who gives a fuck if you don't like someone's, like, these people? And that it was funny because when I was going to do this show, I knew that there would be pretty soon somebody from the Detroit Cast listeners would be like, is that guy that people always used to fight us on blah blah blah? And I was like, yeah, whatever. Who fucking cares? And by the way, no offense, but a lot of these people, and I'm not trying to get this into a political talk at all, but a lot of these people that are sitting here babbling on about how much the left isn't for freedom of speech, then how come they can't listen to someone else's thing and not unfriend them? Like, who gives a fuck? Let you say what you want to say. And if you disagree with it, just stop talking. You don't have to keep engaging. But
you have to,
the idea of unfriending someone, because of that, like, I don't get, especially because honestly, you never say anything vicious. Your stuff is always factually based, or at least, and now they could have a different opinion on stuff, and but it's not like you ever said, "Hey, you butt fucker" or something.
No, I haven't said that word in a while. But I am condescending. I can be condescending.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
yeah, you are.
Which
you are a little condescending.
People feel small with your words is a skill you.
That is, nothing. It warms my heart anytime I can feel like I did.
Yeah, it's the same thing with me. Like, I love fucking with bullies. Like, I love tearing down a bully.
I do that. I do like doing that.
Just say what they did, and let them deal with it.
Dude, I have a folder in my phone of like, and it's got like 40 some pictures in it of different memes people have made of me.
That's fucking hilarious.
I've had my face memed onto toilet paper. Like, I've had a rich guy eating my head. Like, somebody fucking made that for some reason. Like, my head's on a plate and the guy's eating it with a fork. Like,
that's fucking funny, man.
That is good stuff.
But the funny thing, you know what? You honestly.
Yeah, of course you're gonna keep.
Oh, dude, I think people. I will say this, and as long as, dude, again, I wouldn't say this to you because you're not really being a troll, but I don't think that people realize that if you're in the entertainment business at all, if you consider yourself an artist, if you're trying to do this, I don't think people realize that negative stuff, we laugh at it for the most. Like I still, even from being a Drew and Mike radio show intern 10 fucking years ago, the only emails I ever kept about me were fucking ones calling, like making fun of me, because I just thought it was like, holy shit, I've made it. Like somebody at the Drew and Mike show emailed in and said, this idiot, I have an email saying like, whenever you put Eric on the radio, I turn it off. I'm like, dude, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. That is even like negative shit like that, like would be like, yeah, I made an impact on your day.
Dude. Like they don't realize that it's like, dude, you just took time to fucking tell me that you hate me. I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
you know me.
But dude, you hit it on the head, Scott. Honestly, dude, I'm glad I brought this up now, because I think what your description was right. I think that they are in this middle. The younger guys have had it their whole lives. We lived in kind of both, but they don't understand. I mean, they do understand it's the internet, but they not like what we're talking about. Obviously, yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, 100%. Like, cause that is there's no, like I said, like, to me, anything that happens on the internet, like, I've seen people who, I've had people that I've known in real life, like through comedy and stuff like that.
Right.
Unfriend me, unfriend other people, that sort of a thing, block them. I'm always like, man, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, to unfriend somebody in real life, to block them and them in real life, dude, over some silly shit on the internet is just like.
By the way, you're probably fighting over things that especially if it's political. And again, I don't want to get into it too much, but me and Scott both know this. Like, if you're doing it over politics stuff, you're blocking someone you've known for a long time over some rich people that don't even fucking know or care about you. Like, like, so, I want to try to get to this real fast. We don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to get into trolls, because that was kind of what we were talking about there, and not really get into trolls. But again, I'm going to ask Scott, because you gave such a good answer on that last one, but it's like, it's another something that I've never understood. Like, I'm not saying if you like, let's say my favorite, Blink-182. I love Blink-182. They put out a new song, and I go, oh my God, it's on YouTube, new video, and I watch it. And if I don't like it, if I don't care for their new song, I just kind of go, that's a bummer. I didn't really like it. And so I'm not even talking about trolls. I'm just going to say negativity, and I'm not trying to be some positive vibe person, but like, I have never understood a thought process of going onto like a band's website and be like, you used to be good. then fucking, what is the benefit of that? You think the band's gonna read it and they're gonna go, oh, Dickbag 585 doesn't like us anymore?
I don't understand how you have that much time in your day. Like, where is that time coming from?
I mean, right. I feel like part of that is that you're too invested in, once again, kind of the same as the internet thing, you're too invested in bullshit that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If Blink-182 puts out a bad song, you go, that sucks, and you move on, because you don't really, it doesn't affect your life. You don't really care. It's
but
like, I wish it would have been a good song.
Do you think it affects their life? Because they're so obsessed with it. It like puts them in a shitty mood.
Right?
I mean, I guess it has to be an emotional thing, otherwise they wouldn't do it.
Or they are just such angry, negative people that they're just looking for an excuse. I feel like you have that too, where you have like a certain type of troll who just goes onto that shit and just is like, I'm looking for something negative to say.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys, because like, for example, for me, my all-time favorite musical artist is a country singer out of Texas named Pat Green. I have a tattoo of this guy. I've traveled around the country to see him. I fucking love him. Having said that, if he puts out a new song and I don't like it, I can't even fathom going on there and be like, Pat, and it's because sometimes they'll do that too. They'll be like, you know what? I've loved you guys for 10 years, and this song sucks. And it's like, but they gave you 10 years of fucking apparently music that fed your soul and shit. Like, so like, would you guys do that to anybody? Like, is there anybody you would?
I don't have that much energy towards that kind of thing. And I would care about, like, I'm passionate about the things I like, but not to that level. One, they're not going to hear it. All you're bitching to is like the ether, or like for us to interact with it, really. Like, it's not like they're going to actually the artist isn't actually interacting with that.
Yeah.
So no.
And like I remember, man, like when you said that Pat Green thing, like nowadays obviously it would be very different people that I'm into, but like I was a teenager who grew up in the '90s, so like fucking I loved Eminem, like when he was big, like when Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers, Eminem Show, 8 Mile, and like I remember the moment where Encore, his album Encore dropped. And I heard like Big Weenie and Ass Like That, and I was oh no, this dude is my favorite rapper, and he's terrible now. And I just went on about my day.
Right. And this will actually get into a topic I want to do another time, so I'm not going to go as much down. I'm going to stop the music thing, and we're almost got to get out of here anyway. But just in general, the troll aspect, like, do you guys have any, like, other than just the energy, do you have any other thoughts on, like, even if it's out, forget music, like people that go into like news articles and write like, and fight with, and this is kind of a little of both, almost like trolling, almost like those people fighting, but like going into like a Detroit news free press, like Facebook page article and fighting with people. What are you doing?
Okay, you know who's my favorite type of weirdo on those sorts of things? Is a guy who will find like an article about like a rapist or a pedophile or something like that, and then think about the shit that they want to do to them.
Whoa, yeah. Yeah, that seems kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's what I'm
like you're kind of on the same level, right? Just with adults.
You have this violent fantasy in your head, and you're like, man, who is deserving
of this? Yeah, like.
And you know what?
Why that came up in the first place,
right?
And you know what? When I go to like the Facebook stuff, because we're, as a wrapping up our show, we're doing a show. I'm reading some comments, and I usually go and I like to interact. We all like to interact on the Two Hippies page and our own personal pages. I think it is awesome. The internet can be fucking awesome, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with its positivity. So it's like when I'm doing this, I'm not bashing people, for example, that would go on our thing and be like, and if it's ball busting, that's one thing. No, it's just. I don't understand
it. I respect a good ball buster.
Yeah, I can understand. I think that a lot of the like extreme trolls like you're talking about, like the internet is like a fucking extension of human consciousness. And like those things, even though that is an individual posting it, it's like a little outcrop of like the extreme of like what the internet brings. Yeah. Like there could be like a ton of amazing things on there, but it also has to like balance itself with that bullshit.
Dude, I will do straight up, like I am part of many wholesome and cute animal groups on Facebook.
To even it out.
Yeah, so it goes back and forth between like, man, all my like political shit, the world's burning, it's all blowing up, it's on fire.
Right,
dude. All that stuff. It's like, here's a fucking capybara jumping in a pool.
And you know what, that if you use the internet for that, and I guess we'll get to final thoughts, I guess, here. So you want to? I'm going to give mine because I was talking. But if you use the internet for that, it's like it's too bad because the internet is fucking. When people say the internet sucks or the internet's evil, I always say no. Don't. Again, it's like you're blaming a dog who's a bad dog. No, the human didn't train him. Like the internet is beautiful if you want it to be.
Yeah.
People make it a cesspool, not the internet. Don't blame the internet for you being an asshole. Okay, that's my
100%, No, I'd say my final thought is like I was kind of saying already, like if you ever are taking something on the internet seriously, you already lost. You're already doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Like it is this playground for you to have fun and you to express your opinions and all of that, and that's great, but it's not real. And like, I feel like that to me is the biggest thing. If you ever get sucked into that whirlpool of where you start feeling emotional, oh, this person commented back and you're mad and you feel your fucking heart race and like, man, you are doing it wrong. Like you just fucked up your you fucked it up.
For sure.
And I would say my final thoughts, like I'm always like I'm not a huge fan of the internet. I think that it brings out the worst in a lot of people.
For sure.
I also think that, like I said, it can be like you said, it can be a beautiful thing. And I I
The
appreciate
internet isn't
that.
evil. People are evil. I'm sorry. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
like,
we made it. Like I just feel like
that's true.
a balancing act, but most of the time it brings stress, and
That's true.
I'm not a fan of that. But it also is a way to express yourself that we've never been able to do the entire lifespan of humanity. It's just it is a cool thing. I just wish that it was a little different.
And I know we have to wrap it up, but just Tyler, I totally think though too, like this is a whole other subject, so we'll have to get to it sometime, but like they intentionally try to irritate you on the internet. Like,
I know.
Tries to irritate you.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Steer into those bad impulses.
You have to be really strong. You're right. You are right about that. Like you really have to already be a positive kind of, like if you have those tendencies,
you'll fall into it.
It's gonna feed it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's what I would.
All right.
Like good.
Wow,
bad,
well, man,
balance,
for real, dude.
whatever.
That fucking went by, dude. I actually had some other shit, but
yeah.
All right. That's it. For the people that watched, thank you. We appreciate it. We're still kind of working on being able to interact a little more in person and live, but I always go. All of us go on after, and I always go on and comment stuff. We really appreciate all of you listening. We're being 4 episodes in. Like I said earlier, Tyler last night got us up on all the podcast
iTunes,
apps,
Spotify, all that stuff. Google.
So very, very cool.
So check them out. Check it out.
Tyler,
and this will be up tomorrow. So
okay, and then Scott is doing his episode next week. I didn't even ask you ahead of time what it was, but
okay. So next week I want to do tarot readings for you guys.
Woo, I'm excited. That sounds really interesting.
I've only had, I think, technically 2 done. One was by a quote unquote professional, and one was by a very amateur. So I'll be interested to see someone
that's pretty good
of your caliber giving it for me.
Yeah, for real. Cool. Honestly, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing with tarot is just be prepared for some harsh realities.
Tarot will fuck you. Tarot will fucking dig into your soul.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting. Yeah. We'll have a great time.
I'm excited to find out how terrible of a person I am, and I didn't realize it.
Or where your
I'm excited to tell you, Avery.
Yeah. I'm excited to listen.
All right, I guess that's it for this week. Okay, guys, bye.
See you guys. Woo.